Let's destroy some data. In the last 3 sections, we talked about identifying where our data might be and then identifying which data might be important to us. Well, now the fun part comes where we get to destroy the data that we don't actually need anymore. So some people might think that just because your device is broken or inaccessible or you can't get to it anymore, that means it's safe, and it is not. Because people like me, people like at data recovery centers, they can usually extract that data. Even your common criminal picking stuff out of a dumpster has a lot more capabilities than you might think. So there's 2 different types of data recovery that we primarily worry about in this industry. The first is going to be logical, which is where we're going to wipe over the actual data. We're going to do a pseudo-random pass with zeros and ones, and we're typically going to do this when we want to reuse that device. We want to use that drive, so it's going to be a phone or a tablet or some other sort of device that does not have removable storage. The other method we're going to use is physical destruction. That's where we're actually destroying that drive. So that's going to be computers where we could pull the SSDs out, some sort of modular, like a memory card or something, where we're actually going to shred that. Now, so a lot of people ask me, do I actually have to shred things? Can I just destroy it at home? I've had businesses tell me, well, I'll just stick a drill bit through it, or I'll hit it with a hammer. And I have to advise, that's not really the best way to do it, because yeah, it can work, but also it's really easy to mess up. And when we're dealing with compliance, or we're dealing with just our data or customers' data, we don't want to take any chances that we could end up messing something up. So I've got a 3.5-inch hard drive here and a hammer, and let's see what happens. So now let's see if we did any damage. And as you can see, other than a little bit of dust left over from me tearing it apart, the platters are actually perfectly fine. So now that we've tried that, we also have an SSD. I'd like to drill a hole through it and see how that goes. Just standard 2.5-inch SSD and a 1/4-inch drill bit. Now, let's see what happened. And that's exactly why you don't drill an SSD without knowing where the actual chips are. So as you can see, do-it-yourself methods aren't always the most effective, because unless you know exactly what you're doing, there's a very good chance that you could actually not destroy your data. Now, I do want to make one special mention. If you're talking about tablets or cell phones, if you have one of these, please do not hit them with a hammer and do not drill them with the drill bit. There's a very good chance you're going to hit the lithium-ion battery inside and you're going to cause a fire. If you have this kind of device that you would like to have securely destroyed, please make sure you take it to a local recycler who can do that properly. One of the advantages of using a professional instead of a landfill or a scrapyard is that we're going to have a dedicated piece of data destruction technology like this. This is a hard drive and SSD shredder. It is specifically designed to shred the hard drives and the SSDs in independent chambers. Now, one of the reasons that's important is that the memory chips on an SSD is usually about 1/2 inch square, whereas the teeth on the hard drive shredders are typically 3/4 of an inch or 1.5 inches wide. What that means is you put an SSD in there and it's probably going to miss some of those memory chips. Whereas this side, the teeth are only 3/8 of an inch apart, which guarantees that no matter how you put that in there, those chips are going to get cut. Let's go ahead and demo this for you and show how it works. This is what your SSDs turn into. And this is what your full-size hard drives turn into. There's no getting data off of those.